How's it going, boys? It's me, your favorite Snake Souls merchant. And recently, or pretty much as always, people are not happy with Blizzard. Year after year, record performance, and still, Blizzard is laying off people. Oh, the inhumanity, all the intolerance, all the wrongdoings. At least that's what most people think. Now, I have a question for the people who think that that is incorrect. Are you all completely stupid or something? There is literally 200 million reasons why laying people off in a company like Blizzard is the best thing that can happen. Game development wise, everything wise. And I'm gonna explain this because for me this seems extremely trivial and self-explanatory. But for a lot of people just don't get it. How can a company make more money than the previous year, a record number, and still lay off people? Well, let me explain you the basic fundamentals of how a company operates. In the pandemic times, things like esports happening on stages doesn't happen, so people are gonna get cut there. People are getting mad at Blizzard because people are getting cut, people are not getting reinstated in different positions, people are just getting cut. In reality, how this happens, the decision to cut people does not happen in a month or two. Usually, it's a multi-month process. And trust me, all the people who were actually worth keeping most likely got put into different positions. It is far easier to just relocate someone who is good into a different position than fire them and search for someone else of their equivalent or greater skill to fit a new position. So that is one thing. Most likely all the people that could be relocated to different positions, different jobs, had already been relocated. So the people who got cut in the first place were not exactly the shining tools in the shed. Now that is one. Number two, which is by far the biggest and most egregious thing that people don't understand. It doesn't matter if you're making a huge profit or not, a company still can lack people or have too many people. And if someone remembers news from Blizzard from like 3 years, 4 years, 5 ago, well, then you probably remember this situation. That too many people are essentially working at things in Blizzard. Now, this is essentially how this type of thing happens. You have a project. And there are two ways that the project is going to get done from a leadership position. One is when there's a solid chain of command and everyone gets assigned what they are doing because they can do something. And, it's from one person down to the next, and there's a chain. Or alternatively, everyone works like a group and then, there's less of a chain of a command. Now, both situations are possible, but when we're talking about Blizzards, most people do understand that it is the latter type of situation. And the latter type of situation especially has a problem when there's some kind of project to be done. You see, a lot of people in a project is a bad thing. You need a specific amount of people to fulfill specific amount of activities that need to be done for a project to be successful. And if the chain of command is lacking and everything is more or less happening on the buddy-buddy system, the more people you have in a project, the far worse the project is gonna turn out. The less people you have in a project, as long as everything is getting done, the better. But if Blizzard can fire 400 plus employees in a span of only 2 years, that means that they are way overstaffed, which means projects are a literal landscape of hell at this moment in time. So, I'm going to give you a very easy to understand example for everyone who still does not get it. Imagine you have any kind of project, it doesn't matter what it is, and you have the people of all equal talent. No one's worse than the other, no one's better than the other. In one group, you have 3 people who are doing the project, and in the other group, you have 15 people who are doing the project. Now, from just hearing this, some of you are thinking, well, 15 people of equivalent talent and being good at their jobs, obviously they're gonna make it better. You see, no. As long as the project is not already 100% planned out through what needs to be happen, and there can be debate, the more people you have, the worse it is. If everyone is qualified, then they are going to want to do some input in their job. If everyone is qualified, they're going to want to show that they're good at something. AKA, the more people you have, the harder it is to get a goal that everyone can strive for, because everyone has their own ideas. In a 3-people group, it is much easier to communicate and understand what their goals and what everyone wants to do, because no one is getting left out. In a huge group, that suddenly becomes an issue. And this is exactly the thing I think, the exact thing that I think Blizzard was struggling with, why the layoffs are happening. Because especially in situations where projects are done like buddy style, that there's no 100% head who says everyone who what needs to be done, then it becomes a problem. And considering from accounts that I have read, Blizzard is 100% more of that type of group of people, individuals, that becomes an issue. Now, some people don't understand this. How can you, why is that an issue? Well, let me explain this on very basic human terms. So, the lower you look at a job, for example, it's more manual. For example, stacking boxes. People want to be lazy there. That is true. But the more you go up the ladder, the more you are competent at something, the less you want to just sit idly by and do nothing in your job place. Now, sure, obviously, there are people who would love to do that, but the higher you up, the more meaningful, the more thoughtful the job becomes, the less people want to sit around and do nothing. They want to prove their worth. They want to prove their skills in the vast majority of cases. They just don't want to sit around lazy month after month not doing anything and getting a paycheck. No, they actually want their input being heard. They want their ideas being appreciated and so on. And that's where the problem arises. If you have too many people working on something, in which case, in Blizzard's case, that is, in my opinion, 100% what happened, it is hard to get things done. It is just hard because people want to do this. There's 5 people that want to do X thing. 10 people want to do Y thing. No one wants to do the Z thing. Everyone has input. Everyone's wasting the boss's time, giving them ideas that they already have heard 5 times in a row. It just does not lead to a solid conclusion. And this is why maybe a lot of their game quality has dropped and things have not happened. Because there's too many people. Just from a coordination standpoint, it is vastly easier to coordinate 3 people and make them understand what everyone is doing than it is to coordinate even 6 people. Everything above 3 people without a decent chain of command pretty much instantaneously gets turned into a shit show. That is just the reality how things happen. And if Blizzard is alleviating this problem that there are too many people that do not have enough work and everyone wants to put their input, that is good for the company. Maybe if Blizzard fires more people, we can actually get to the point where Blizzard games are good. Now, honestly, I kind of doubt that will happen, but we can dream. So it is not always bad that a company fires people. Also, this stupid idea that a company should not fire anyone just because they're performing well. Like, in general, an idea like that is absurd. Okay, the company's performing well. 20 people are sitting there on their asses doing absolutely nothing day in, day out. Should they really not be fired because the company's doing well and their job is unnecessary? Like, seriously, people, like, get a grip on reality. Anyway, this was Quasar Sensen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the channel. Check out Discord. Check out the Patreon. I admittedly think I did get a lot of people angry and mad about this because, it is bad that people are getting fired. There's like absolutely no way of denying it, and it's just stupid. It sucks. We all know it. But saying that the company is just always 100% wrong in doing so is just stupid. It is just flat out stupid.